Namaste, everyone, and welcome to yet another podcast episode of Om Incense Show with DJ, a show that helps you increase your incense quotient. So, if you are an incense enthusiast, consider subscribing. So, grab your favorite beverage or snacks while I give you company. So, today we are reading a chapter from the Complete Incense Book by Sussane Fischer Rizzi. I just reviewed this book last Friday I reviewed this book. So this time I thought I haven't done a podcast for quite some time now, and considering the situation that we are in at the moment, I just didn't feel like shooting. So I just thought might as well do a podcast for you. So today I'm reading from page 171. This is the chapter on India, Mother of Fragrances. So it says it's page 171, and I'm reading from the instruction in the art of love. So she's written something about KAMASUTRA. So let's read that. It says, people used fragrances as sacrifices to the gods. They also used them to please their own senses. According to the principles of Hinduism, a prerequisite for the life lived in harmony, corresponding to the divine principle, is a life with a fulfilling and well-balanced love life. So we have this, in Hinduism, we have this concept of dharma, arth, kam and moksha. So which means the moksha is like liberation from the cycle of birth and death. So it says that, only if we have really experienced dharma, arth and kam, we are able to achieve moksha. So dharma is of course religious pursuit, not exactly religious pursuit, but it's also a righteous way of living life. So dharma, arth of course is wealth and the physical pleasures that we have around us. Kam is both in terms of sex and also love and all the other pleasures that we actually experience in life. So all of that comes under kam. So it's not just sex. So that's what she means when she says that. Now, the use of pleasant fragrances supports this life. The people of ancient India used fragrant oils for massages and scented baths to please the senses. They believed that using plants such as sandalwood, aloe, and benzoin for incense burning increased sensual attraction. The poet Kalidas wrote the following about the pleasures of the senses. So for those of you who do not know, Kalidas is, I don't know what to say about him, but he is like one of the best literary souls that we have had in India. People say he was the Shakespeare of India, but that is like, it would be like degrading him, because Kalidas was, he didn't just write about literary things. His writings were really very philosophical, dharmic, and unless and until you read him, you will not know what exactly Kalidas was. So he wrote about this, and there's a quote here. It says, beautiful ladies, preparing themselves for the feast of pleasures, cleanse themselves with the yellow powder of sandal, clear and pure. Freshen their breath with pleasant aromas and suspend their dark hair in the smoke of burning aloe. So this is, I think he is writing about the festival of Holi, which is also known as Madan Parv. Those days it was known as Madan Parv or Madan Utsav, and Madan is the name for the god of love in India. So he is Kamdev. If you've heard of Kamdev, that was, the festival was celebrated in, it was a celebration of love, so it was called Madan Utsav. So I think he's written about that. It says the Kama Sutra, the instruction in the art of love, written in the 4th century AD. Some people say that it was written in the 1st century AD, so there's some confusion there. Describes the daily morning ritual of Hindus who are members of a higher caste. So I think, so for people who came to India from outside, so whether it was the Muslims or whether it was the English people who came here, they really did not actually understand the culture that was here. So they instead of saying people of higher status, they meant higher caste, and that caste word has stuck to India since then, and it has created so much of havoc here. But actually, when this, it says Hindus who are member of a higher caste, was actually Hindus who are members of a higher status. So that's what should have been written here. They nourished their bodies with a fragrant cream, caressed their lips with wax and plant juice, brushed their teeth, attached a flower to their clothing, and inhale a very gentle fragrance. The Kama Sutra considers the artful handling of fragrances as one of the 64 arts that ladies and gentlemen of the cultured class needed to exercise well. So she's talking of 64 Kala, 64 sacred arts. They burnt incense in the form of mixtures, powders, as dhoop, herbs and resins combined into a pliable substance, and incense sticks called Agarbati. Actually, the Agarbati that she has mentioned here wasn't something that was manufactured back then. We had battis, which is more like a bamboo-less dhoop that we have these days. The Agarbati only came around in 1940s, so I don't know why she's mentioned Agarbattis, but it's not Agarbati. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to read this chapter and let you know the things that I feel needs clarification as we read along. So this is Agarbati, that's it's not Agarbati, it's actually bamboo-less dhoop. So all of these were frequently used in India, creating a lifestyle drenched in fragrances. Indians pulverized parts of plants such as sandalwood, aloe, benzoin resins, spikenard roots, patchouli leaves, and vetiver roots, and mixed them with a bonding substance such as gum arabic. They added saltpeter with or without pulverized charcoal to guarantee that the mixture burnt well. She is mentioning about Agarbati, but this is not how it was made in the ancient India, and certainly not when KAMASUTRA was written. There's some confusion here. And saltpeter is something, of course, which was never used in the ancient Indian incenses. It's just a recent thing. Okay, so it says they added saltpeter with or without pulverized charcoal to guarantee that the mixture burnt well. Then they formed long cones 4 to 12 inches, 10 to 30 centimeter long, and allowed them to dry. You can find fragrant incense sticks almost anywhere in India. On altars, in taxi cabs, buses, at the vegetable stand, and in households where people burn them as a sacrifice. I don't exactly know what does she mean when she says sacrifice, but actually it's an offering. It's not sacrifice as in we are offering those things to God, because we have this concept of praying through 16 articles, or at the least 5 articles, where we offer each of those things to our gods, and we pray to them with those things. Yes, the thing that she's mentioned about you can find incense everywhere, that's true, because many people, the cab drivers and all, when they start their day in the morning, they clean their cabs, and the first thing that they do is place an incense stick. It's like praying, on the go. And the same thing goes for the vegetable vendors also. It's a way of also keeping the flies away, as well as starting the day with a prayer. And for them, of course, that's a big thing, starting their business, so that's why the incense is lit up. So even if there are no pictures of gods or something, there's one Manas Pujan is done. So mentally they pray to God and they light an incense. They fill the air with sweet fragrances. Unfortunately, today manufacturers add a great deal of synthetic fragrances, often imported from the West. Pure natural incense sticks are very difficult to find, that's true. The most beautiful gift from India. First, follow me to one of the holiest places in India, to Banaras, Varanasi, where the mighty and sacred Ganges River, originating in the Himalayas, is the longed for destination of every Hindu believer. That's true, Ganga Ma. Ganga river is really something that is very dear to our hearts. Since Hindus believe that everything in life moves in circles, it's not important if we join the celebration of birth or observe a burial ceremony. Hindus do not follow a burial ceremony. I don't know why she's mentioned that. For the Hindus, both are the beginning of a new life. Along the Ganga are burial sites where, after the bodies are burned, the ashes are given to the river. No, there are no burial sites. We have cremation grounds. So, Hindus burn the bodies, the dead bodies, we do not bury them. Here we might experience one of the most important fragrant substances of India, sandalwood. When a family cremates a wealthy Hindu, they often add large chunks of precious sandalwood to the fire. That's true. Sandalwood, they feel, supports the person's journey to a more magnificent life, describing the many different ways in which people on the Indian subcontinent use sandalwood, would fill an entire book because it is almost inseparably connected to the Indian way of life. Its fragrance accompanies every stage in life. It's a fragrant gift for the journey onto the next life, as well as an erotically stimulating fragrance for sensual pleasures. According to Kalidas, during the summer months, the ladies of the court rub oil of sandalwood on their breasts, oil of jasmine in their hair, and that prepares them for lovemaking. Fragrant sandalwood is one of the most beautiful gifts India has given to the world. Wherever people inhale it, they have a sense of being enriched, of well-being, of the fullness of life. Warm, soft, gentle, balsamic, sandalwood caresses the senses. It's a fragrance for lovers and a gift that promises wonderful dreams. In India, they use sandalwood for body powder, oils, perfumes, incense sticks, and of course also for incense burning. This has been the custom for centuries. Chandan, as sandalwood is also called, is mentioned in the Nirukta, the oldest Vedic commentary, that's 5th century AD, as well as in Sanskrit writings such as the Ramayana and Mahabharata. People were making sandalwood oil as early as the 6th century BC. European tastes came relatively late to the pleasures of the precious sandalwood. It didn't appear in Italian apothecaries until the 15th century. Let's give in then to the pleasures of this wonderful Eastern aroma, allowing our souls to be inundated by it. Burning just one small piece of this precious wood gives us an immediate sense of the balsamic fragrance. So I am not really very good with the dates, so I don't know what 6th century BC would mean when she's saying people are making sandalwood oil as early as 6th century BC. I don't know, I think it dates back way beyond that. It's been, I don't think the oldest of the Vedas, that's Rig Veda, has mentions of sandalwood, so it certainly goes much before 6th century BC. So that's all we had to read today. I just read, two pages, 171, 172, and a little of 173. In case you want me to read more, just let me know. I just wanted to read this and, give a few clarifications, because some clarifications about India only an Indian can give. And I've never seen many people read and, discuss these writings, especially the incense writings. So I just thought might as well do this for the incense lovers here. So I hope you enjoyed this episode and you learned something from it. If you have any kind of queries or comments, just let me know. And till we meet again next, take very good care of yourself. Namaste.